We got the first load unloaded. We got to go pick up another load, but all this stuff here, this is all the boxes and other stuff, but there's still more in the unit. So as you can see, whole bunch of stuff to go through. And then there's other bigger items in here, out there. So, but a nice little pile there. And more to add on to it tomorrow. All right, we got the Snap-on catalog here. We've had several Snap-on cases, but all the cases have been empty. I think 3 or 4 of them all empty. But look right here. Taz playing cards, that's funny. Oh, we got Bugs Bunny too. But their new Taz, Bugs Bunny, Coke, Carnival. What is this? This is just like a old vintage set with a snowy scene on it, and then some VHSs. But also, this feels like it's empty though. I guess it was a camera box, but it feels like it's empty. But right here we got Star Wars. Oh, they're still new. I think, no, I don't know, maybe they were open on the bottom. Star Wars VHS set. And then we've got a Star Trek personal communicator holiday ornament. And then another communicator. Is this an ornament or like just a toy? Collector's edition communicator device. Try Me. Batteries are probably dead. It looks like some other kind of collectible type stuff maybe in here. That feels like it's not in there though. Star Trek classic communicator. Feels like it is not in there. Oh, printer paper. But here's another Star Trek classic communicator, which looks like it is in there. And then down in there more odds and ends. Oh, we get the Back to the Future DeLorean Hot Wheels here. And then down underneath that, oh, what else? Looks like some speakers and other odds and ends. What does that say? Oh, there's an Emmett Kelly. So a clown figure? Clown something. It's Emmett Kelly. Oh, and then here's a nice set of wire cutters, wire strippers. It's a clown figurine, I think. Oh, there's no box. Oh, it's a Coke. Limited edition mini musical figurine Emmett Kelly. So, clown figure. Yeah, open it up since we already talked about it. We'll open it up so they can see. And then down there, some books. There's a lot of the Chilton's manuals. Oh, that's a neat one there. It is. He's at a Coke machine with the Coke polar bear. That's a little bit different. Yeah. And the Emmett Kelly there. She wound it up, but it's not playing.
Oh, poor baby.
You gotta wind it more, maybe?
Maybe.
There it goes.
It needed your touch.
Oh, it's the Coke song. Always Coca-Cola.
That's cool.
All right, so as you can see, a little bit of everything in these boxes. And there's more, potentially, some other stuff in there, but... And then we got a little bit of disappointment here and there, like with some of the empty boxes. But that's almost every unit. You're going to have something that's like...
This is for like the Freon stuff?
The refrigerant scale. I mean, it's a scale. I don't know why it's specifically saying it's a refrigerant scale. But it looks just like a scale to me, like you're just going to put it on there and weigh.
For whatever we want to.
Oh, and Billy's over here with a chain around him. Keep that on while we're working. That'll give you a good workout, wearing that.
No, I was going to put it around my bike.
We are back out of the unit. It's the next day. Finishing this thing off. We couldn't fit it all and just kind of ran out of time and energy. Got Ann and Billy with me today. We're loading up. There's several of these nice, fairly new looking furniture dollies in here. Look at this right here. This is cool. The Automotive hammer set for doing body work. It's got the little forging thing there. Cool little find. Tons of this throughout the unit. All kinds of brand new stuff like Automotive. Here's some brake cleaner. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, a lot of this is new transmission fluid, either new or pretty full. O-rings. Some kind of an electric motor there. Then we got some lines for heating, you know, like heating and cooling servicing. Jacks, tons of jacks. Big pry bars, hitches, heavy duty chains. On and on and on. There's another winch there. We found that big electric winch that was still in the box yesterday. Windshield wipers, level, any kind of tool you can think of. Everything, including the kitchen sink, but it's more like a utility sink. And there are some, like that's empty right there. There's been 3 snap-on cases. They were all empty. Just empty cases. I don't know. Sometimes people, they just get anything that's snap-on, so maybe they were just cases he picked up at a yard sale. I'm not sure. Then stuff like this. Coolant. That thing is all the way full. And if you look in there, you see extension cords and caulking. And then all the shelves. Of these shelves right here, which there's 3 of these right here. These heavy-duty metal rolling shelves. The company is right here, Metro. If you look these up, these kind of shelves here from that company are about $1,000 each. So, and there's 3 of them. Obviously not going to get anywhere close to that, but if you order these specifically, because they're heavy duty, made to hold a lot of weight and be able to roll with a lot of weight. Not just hold it in place, but you can actually move all the weight. So they're very expensive. And then I think there's this type of shelf here, the metal frame wood shelves. I think there's like 3 or 4 more of these. And then a couple of your standard plastic shelves. And then also there was a glider, and it's actually pretty solid and in good condition, it seems. And then if you look over, lots of crowbars and lug wrenches, and some of those are handles for some of these jacks like that are all throughout the unit. So, but we're getting close to being done. All right, we got a little Star Trek string art kit here. And then I think we got a dartboard here below it. All right, is there a dartboard in here? The cabinet's in good shape. It's in there. Oh yeah, we got darts and everything. It's been played a little bit, but not a huge amount. May have another dartboard behind it. All right, there was another dartboard, and then look here, we got a bunch of tennis balls and stuff. And look at the old vintage Kmart bag here. It's kind of neat. Other than that, I think we're mostly done. There's some kind of... Okay, we got a ring toss game. Here's the rings. Here is the board. It's trying to come off a little bit there, but it's kind of neat. Hawaiian ring toss. All right, we found this right here. This thing was full of all kinds of just junk. Keys, some of it trash, some of it just little trinkets and stuff. But a good bit of change in there. In the same box that was in, and just pulled this out. It's very heavy. It sounded heavy. When you set it down on here, it sounded like it weighed 100 pounds. It's got 1 piece of duct tape. So let's see if it's locked. Okay, it's unlocked. So we don't need those keys. No idea what's in it. There's money, some sort of money here. Oh Lord! Did you put all that in there, Ann, just as a gift to me?
No.
All right, let's see.
I wish I would have, but no.
Let's see what we got. So we got some kind of congratulations, it's a boy announcement. All right, what do we have here? We've got $150, $250. $350, $450, $455, and this is all just kind of regular newer money. $455. What is this? It's a savings bond for $50. I don't know if you can do much of anything with them. I've heard some people talk about them like you can, but I don't know. All right, we got a bunch of ones here. So we're at 455. Here, Emma, I'm doing. You want to maybe count this smaller so we don't take forever here. Okay, there's a 10. 465, 470, 495.
So let's make it 5.
500 there, 520, 540, 545. All right, now what do you got?
8.
8 and 2, so 10, so 555. All right, I don't know if he was just stashing a little bit of money at a time in there, so we're at 555 there, and then we got, it looks like a few more dollars and pennies there. Okay. Right here, Mercury Head Dime. There's nothing in here, it looks like, though. Okay. Nothing in there. We got an envelope. I don't think there's nothing in these envelopes right here. They're valuable paper envelopes, but... Okay, nothing in there. Oh, here's another 20. What were we were at 555? Or am I off now? I could be off. I think it was 555. We'll go with that. If we're off, we'll figure it out.
We'll
So
look back and
575. This has something in it. Lincoln Cents. So open it up here. So we got some of them in here. Some of them not. Okay. Moving along from there, we got money in here. We got $2 bills. It looks up, and more stuff. Lots of ones, a couple fives. I don't know. We'll see what that is. What do we look at? And look at that. My goodness. That's why the guy. Okay, going back to this unit, to when we bought this unit, the guy showed up. I mean, he has so much stuff in here, whether he remembers, because a lot of times people just forget what they have exactly where. You know, he had another unit there still. That's how he was able to get there, to get to access to it. So he might not have remembered exactly where he put this, or he might have remembered, but there was nothing he could do at that point legally. So, but he made us a little bit uncomfortable just because he was just hanging around there. All right, this is all ones right here, looks like. So we're still at 575 there, and we got to count those. A lot of ones and stuff. We got some kind of coins in here. I guess, Ann, you want to see, just kind of see if it's just regular coins or it looks like something special?
This is 1950 pennies.
Okay, so we got some old pennies. Okay, so they're wheat pennies.
Bags, yeah.
So we got some older pennies there. Here's another one. We'll put with that. So, all right, so 575, so 580.
This is cleaned pennies.
Cleaned pennies, okay. So 600 there. So clean, are they wheat pennies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so more wheat pennies. All right, so we were at 600 and we got more fives and ones here. More fives and ones. We'll get a recount when we're done to make sure we're not off. Here's another 20, so we're like at 620, give or take. More ones, more ones. I think more coins to look at. Another one. So he was just stashing in here. Look at this right here. We got some goodies in there. There's some $50 and stuff in there, and some foreign money, quarters, all kinds of stuff going on in there. All kinds of coins in these we'll look at. All right, this looks like older money right here. Like
Old like me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are those, silver or whatever you call them?
Well, I mean, it's not a silver stick, but it's just a, let's see, that's from 1969, a $20. But you know, I tried to sell some of these in the auction one time, and I didn't get much more than it was worth. It really wasn't. I should have just kept it, but anyways. So a lot of $2 bills. Here's a red note. Oh, here's the silver certificate. This 20, 1934. This one here, good Lord, 1934. Here's a banking envelope here.
613, right here.
It kind of feels like there's something in there, but then it kind of, I don't feel nothing in there. And then we got more.
Yeah, there's nothing in here, Daniel. Nothing at all.
Is it $200? Oh my goodness. Look, what's the... It said 200 and it kind of felt, but I couldn't feel it when my finger went there. 1929 $100 bills. Look at that. The Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, Illinois. Wow. So we'll have to do some looking at that. Here's some more money. Do we have gold here? Maybe. I don't know. But we've got the Eisenhower dollars. Here is a gold looking coin. Let's see. United States Mint, Philadelphia. So I think that's more like a souvenir type thing, but we got nickels. So some older nickels we'll have to look at. Dimes, $5 worth of dimes. $5 in dimes. Looks like a diamond. Maybe. Something there we'll have to look at. This here has lots of Eisenhower dollars and other coins in it, quarters and different stuff. We'll look in these two boxes right there. More quarters. I mean, some of it's just regular change, but there is other stuff mixed in that may be more special. This looks like another diamond. Looks like a diamond and a little gold, what do you call it, pendant. There's another dollar. Now this thing's heavy. Oh, there's coins falling out. This is Kennedy $50. So Kennedy $50, and then whatever we're gonna find in here. Looks like it's gonna be pennies. That says 1943 penny, 1929 penny. That says pennies, 1940s. Some kind of change in there. And more change. What does that say? Oh. It says nickels various. Okay, now let's look. See if I can open this. Anne's counting that, so I got one hand here at the moment. All right, we have a penny in here. Is this a special penny? What is the year on there? I can't quite make it out. 19... Dang, what does that say? It's so dark, the light keeps hitting it weird. $1920 maybe? Normally I can see better than that, but it's just the light on that's weird. So I got to open up this and look at this. All right, Ann just went and grabbed the container that was found in just to look at it again. There's another jar here that has a little more change down at the bottom, you know, junk on the top. A couple loose coins here. So we added up all of the, you know, modern everyday money, and it's $945. So that is great. The unit cost $2,010. You know, and then buyer's premium, gas and truck. Yeah, we've already sold stuff. But so really, let's say I got about $2,500 in it, not including, you know, just trying to add in overhead here and stuff. But the initial cost of the unit, about $2,500. So $945, and then here in this older money, if we just take it at face value, this is $299. So that puts us at about $1,250, you know, give or take $1 there. And then we have all of these coins and stuff. Lots of coins that a lot of these are worth more than face value. Actually, a good majority of them are worth more than face value. All these coins in here, and got a little bit of Canadian money. So, oh, look, the $100 bills up here. These are the 1929 Chicago. Some of the other cities are worth a little bit more. The Chicago ones are worth between $150 to $200 each. So, potentially up to double the face value. But if there were some of the other cities, some of those are worth closer to $300. And then, okay, the jewelry. None of the jewelry looks like it's real. But I got to look closer at the ring and that piece, but there's no markings on any of that. I don't think any of it's real. And then I don't know anything about these potential diamonds or anything at the moment. And then you have the savings bond here. But the problem with the savings bond is it's made up to the person's name on it, and obviously that's not my name, so not a whole lot you could do there. But looking good so far on this unit. I mean, we've pulled a ton of good stuff out already. A lot of stuff we haven't even looked at yet, and more surprises on the way. All right, we have been going through this stuff, making a disaster back here because there's just so much of it. But we're finding tons of stuff, tons of dig stuff, tons of auction stuff. As you can see, it's dwindling down, but there's still a lot of stuff, like all that over there, and then several boxes and piles over here. All this right here is auction stuff. All that's auction stuff. There's another start. I'll take you over to the auction here in a minute that we already have mostly full, pretty much full, and show you what we put in there out of this unit. All this, there's still some big stuff, but we've taken out like 3 or 4 buggies of dig stuff today. Starting another one right there. A lot of these boxes here have stuff that's going to go in the auction. Just tons and tons of stuff. Oh, you found another one of those?
That was laying up here.
Okay, but we've been finding a bunch of this old IBM stuff, including these DOS operating systems, the disk and everything. And I was looking these things up earlier, and some of them go for a lot of money. And we've got several of these, look, that are they're brand new, still packaged up, new old stock. And I didn't look thoroughly for new. I just kind of pulled up the disc for a minute, and every one of them were selling anywhere from $10-15 to over $100 for different ones. But once again, as you can see, we got a mess. Tons of license plates. Most all of them are just regular Georgia plates. Trying to think. Oh, been finding some Snap-on stuff. I'll show you real quick. Look, we got the Big Daddy ratchet here. Snap-on. This thing's worth about $100 online in used condition. This huge socket here, number 36. That socket, all these sockets right here, those are all Snap-on. There was another ratchet too. Where did it go? Right here. Our pile, we just kind of gone crazy here. There's another smaller Snap-on ratchet. It's right here somewhere. It's just falling down in there. I don't know. But so a few Snap-on things, a Snap-on battery, but we never did find, at least yet, any Snap-on battery power tools. Here's the smaller ratchet. It's a Snap-on. Trying to think of what else we have found. This is all hand tools up under here. Tons of hand tools. The box below it is all hand tools. Loose ones we've been throwing in. Lots of TV guides. I don't really think they're worth anything, but all those, and then we got another box of TV guides over there. So I'm still, we got lots of realistic CB radios, the brand Realistic. We got the microphone, but several of them. Oh, I found a bunch of these 1984 IBM keyboards, go for about $100 on eBay. And I've got 2 of them in there. I just found this one. It's missing 1 key. And then I had another brand of keyboard that's brand new that goes for about $100. So this thing just keeps going and going and going. Several pretty much like new furniture dollies here. Jacks galore, lots and lots of jacks. Man, what else? There's the G.I. Joes, Snake Eyes and Duke. Those are just kind of basic, like $10 to $20. Here's the posters. These are the posters. Okay, I don't know if when we were in the unit if we explained it very well, but we were in the unit and the guy, hold on. So we're in the unit back in there, and I pick up that tube and I look down in there and there's a bunch of posters. I go, oh, it's posters. And right when I said that, we're on my inside unit and we're back in there. A voice goes, yeah, those are my Star Trek posters. Look up and there's a guy standing in the hallway right at the doorway looking at me and Ann. So it was his stuff. Kind of uncomfortable because he's just sitting there staring at us and we're in there loading all his stuff up. Or his former stuff. It's mine now. It was a lien sale, legal lien sale. I paid for it. And funny thing is I mean, yeah, he said something about a few things, but he asked about his microwave. A big old, let me come back here and I'll show it to you. I've set it to the side back here. Like a 1980s microwave. He said it was his parents. They'd had it forever and he wanted it back. That's what he asked for back. And he asked if he could buy it back. I'm probably just going to give it to him. This is all kinds of pictures and stuff so far that we've gathered up. And any other personal stuff, we're going to try to get back to him. And, you know, trying to think of what else he asked for. He asked about the AC/DC glasses, which there's a couple set. I mean, they're not really anything. They're cool, but there's something you should be able to just go on like eBay or Amazon and order. They weren't like vintage, you know, very rare or anything like that. It was kind of just a collector's thing that you'd find at, you know, at a current store with AC/DC on them. What else we got going on here? Of course, we hit the jackpot on all the money and the change, which should come out, you know, once, you know, we pull out all the coins and everything. It's going to come out around the selling price of the unit, around the $2,000, I believe. You know, besides the actual cash, which the newer cash was $900. Trying to remember what we said now, $945, I think. Some of the older cash will go for a little bit more, and some of the coins will obviously go for more. And we have found a lot of coins, just regular change. We've been sending up front to stock our register with change because we have to go to the bank all the time if we don't find it in units, which a lot of times we do. And by the way, we've got pennies for days. I mean, we got so many pennies. I don't know. You know, everybody else can't give away pennies, but we got more pennies than we could ever give away. We got just buckets and bins full of pennies because all these units always have pennies. Because, you know, people have a change jar, they pull all the silver out, and you're left with just the pennies. So we get that all the time. And we have found a lot of pennies in this unit. So it's going good. Let me walk over and let's walk out here. Let me flip this back around. But anyways, oh, back to the guy. Yeah, so he showed up for his stuff. I got his phone number. I told him that I would call him about his microwave and any personal stuff. So, but I told him it would be a little while once we kind of went through everything. And also, lots of CDs that were in there that we kept so we could play on our speakers back there while we're working. Also, I don't think we showed all the vintage clothing yet. So let me show that. I put this thing on the other day. It's one of those like 70 shirts. Looks like Bob from that 70 show. Something that he would wear. Same thing here. But these are pretty cool vintage little like linen terry cloth shirts. There's another one there. There's another one here. And then look at this old vintage Levi's. Some of these vintage clothes do pretty well. Look at that old logo there. This is another Levi's right there. The vintage Levi's. Here's a vintage like souvenir shirt from Canada that somebody got. But look at the, definitely looks like 70s or 80s there. So we've got the Redskins jacket here. You see it's a chalk line. Then we got a couple of Redskins, Washington Redskins sweatshirts here. Is this chalk line too, or is this something different? Logo 7. And this one's Logo 7 also. See, it's got the old fashioned Redskins logo on it. Here's another one, looks identical. So we got a few of them. Then, oh, here's a Redskins keychain too. We did find the 49ers coat here. Only bad thing, it has his name on it, has his first name on it, but it's got the leather sleeves, official NFL patch, San Francisco 49ers, and all that. So let's look here. I'll show you some of the good ones. This is just kind of a Alford Classics Atlanta, but here we go. In-N-Out Burger. This is kind of a neat shirt because when you look at the back here, the design on that's pretty neat. Expressions of a Wookiee. Another one of these drag racing shirts. Whistle Stop Cafe, Kennesaw. Some of these aren't anything special. Some are cooler than others. Miller Lite. We got a Hazard Homecoming 2012 shirt. Alright, Red Hot Tools. Alright, this is a neat one right here. Look at this Snap-on drag racing shirt. That's a neat one right there. Snap-on Racing. Got the M&M shirt. We got any M&M's fans out there? He was an M&M's fan. We got the Star Trek USS Enterprise shirt. We got a Styx tour shirt, 2017 tour. So not vintage, but still cool because it is a tour shirt. There you go. You got the locations and everything. Here's another Star Trek shirt. Another Styx tour shirt. This is the Mission. Not sure what year that is. Probably says it somewhere on there. But another M&M shirt. Okay, this is a Boston shirt from the 2016 tour, 40th anniversary. Man, they've been around a long time. We got the AC/DC t-shirt here. Another Snap-on. There's the front. Here's the back, Junkyard Jewel. Then we come here, we get another Dukes of Hazzard, and it's got autograph from Coy Duke was the name on the show, and then whatever his name is there. He was actually from some kind of new version of Dukes of Hazzard. All right, we have another Styx shirt, touring shirt there. And then we got a Leonard Skinner 2016 shirt. So some decent stuff there. All right, license plate. Here's more. There's more than this. So look at all these license plates, but they're mostly just Georgia plates, newer ones. There's one somebody painted red, and then we got like used car dealer tags there. There's a U.S. government tag, Confederate flag there. Trying to show some other stuff we've gotten. I don't know. This is all like car parts and stuff. We're just still kind of going through and sorting. Neat cookie jar right here. And the dog. It's marked 0272 USA. It's got the C. I don't know. Is this a McCoy or not? Maybe. Some of them don't necessarily say McCoy. Look at these. These are cool. Looney Tunes Christmas. Couple glasses there. Coke glasses. Old games. We've been finding the laser disc stuff, but no laser disc player yet. But we're still looking. We got a rainbow set here. Look for the rainbow. Just lots of odds and ends. DVDs. I already put a bunch of DVDs over in the auction, and here's more of them. All of these are sealed up here. Never opened. Got Mad Max. Talladega Nights. It's the old version of Mad Max with Mel Gibson. All the Hummel plates. Man, these things aren't worth nothing. Well, I mean, to somebody they're worth a lot, but they're just not. They don't have a high resale value anymore. One time when I first started buying units, that stuff was good money, but that stuff has really, really dropped. More M&M stuff. All that's M&M. Already got some of it over in the auction, and I'm about to head over that way here in just a minute. But look, we got more of the vintage. Look at this Microsoft Works from 1991. Still sealed up. And look this stuff up. It's worth money. This is all new. Look. IBM DOS operating systems. That stuff's all new. And all these discs and stuff, some of these can be worth a lot of money. So we're going to be looking all these up. But we got lots of them. And other IBM stuff. Let's see. Is that it over here? This thing ended up being empty. But it's still a nice road case. All the foam in there. The TV, unfortunately, did not work. It's got something wrong with it. Not working. There's that awesome sewing machine. Transmission. All these containers are nice. We've emptied all them out. They were all in there. Dartboard. 2 dartboards. One of them with the cabinet, one without. And then this vintage ring toss game. I think I showed this already. All right, let's head over to the auction area. All right, before I go down and show the stuff in the auction, I'm going to show these posters real quick while Ann's still here, and she can help me hold these. But all right, first one, we got a Mopar Dodge Charger poster. It was in one of the single rolls here. Here's another single, so this may be another car poster. Is it the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, same one. Okay, so 2 of those. Now we're going to look in this other one, which is the one that he said was the Star Trek poster, so we'll see if that's what it is or not. Oh, this is a Harry Potter.
Not quite Star Trek.
No. All right, so we got a Harry Potter. This is from Borders, the bookstore. So I guess
2007.
Midnight. Okay, this was like a promo thing they had to promote when they were going to release the book. Midnight, July 21st, 2007. Yeah, when the books were first coming out, they were like, the bookstores would be mobbed because I worked at Lowe's right next to a Borders back then, and I remember one night they were releasing that, and it was insane.
Maybe.
So this is not Star Wars either. This one's got a Lamborghini. So we got a Lamborghini poster here, okay? So what do we have here? This is another we've already had this poster. It was out. It's a Super Bowl. It's showing all the different Super Bowl tickets. Oh, and that's the same one.
Okay.
Okay, so he was I guess maybe he was confused here, because so far no Star Trek posters. But he had multiple. I don't know how many units. He had at least one more because he was over in one of the units. So potentially, maybe. No, I think this is Star Trek here. Okay.
Upside down.
Is it upside down?
No.
Some of them are.
No.
It's like, okay, it's just all these little clips, and some of them are upside down. Some of them aren't. It's almost like little. I don't know what they are exactly.
That's a.
Do not purchase. Stolen items. Okay, whatever. I don't know what. I don't really know exactly.
On the back of it?
Yeah, it's two-sided. I think. Yeah, it's.
Or is it two? No, no.
Oh, you know what this is? Oh, okay. This is actually uncut cards. Like a sheet. It's the Skybox cards, collectible cards. Yes, right there, Skybox.
Oh.
So it's like a poster of all the cards.
In the backs. Oh,
Yeah, and then that's the back.
cool.
Okay. And then there is still something else down in here, something small. What is this? Okay, I think this is a Star Trek calendar. So, yeah, 1990. So it's a little bit newer Star Trek calendar. Okay, so there was a poster, but most of it was not Star Trek. All right, now I am gonna walk over there and show you the auction here. All right, this is where we set up for our online auction. We are mostly done. I still got to kind of fill in the floor area along here. I kind of lean a lot of stuff along there, but kind of fill in the bottom down there. But we're getting there. So all of this, I'm going to show you, like all these records. I know we already showed them, but I'm going to just run through them again as they're set up. So we're selling all this in the online auction. Records turned out pretty good. I wish there would have been more of them. Like you would have had a few more boxes. That would have been awesome. But so all this, everything I'm showing came out of that unit. And then down here, all of this. Yeah, all this stuff. All those clamps. Here's all the Dukes of Dukes of Hazzard. The Freon. Snap-on towel, and I showed that. Star Trek toys. More records. Here's some of the. There's more of these glasses that are identical to that. Then he had AC/DC like DVDs and CDs. And then, okay, this wagon was in there. I mean, just tons of stuff. All this, everything I'm showing. All this new fuel system cleaner and everything. All this car stuff. That poker tabletop. All the cleaners and all that stuff. Every single thing that I'm showing right now. The tools, the Star Trek plates, all this stuff was all in there. These IBM floppy disk we put in there. These are probably worth a lot of money after I started looking that stuff up. M&M toys. Vintage Monopoly there from the 60s. Mac tools. That's for auto body getting dents out. More M&M stuff. And if we come over this way, there's a couple more things. That's other stuff. So that's not from this unit, but this stuff here is more M&Ms, car stereos, bunches. All these CDs that are over here, these are all sealed up, brand new CDs. They never opened them. You got The Police, Jane's Addiction, Elton John, Fall Out Boy, Styx. That Black Sabbath there one's a good one. Ended up with one Nintendo game in there, this Wolverine game. But all these goodies, look at all those James Bond DVDs are all sealed up. All James Bond. Then all those are sealed up. They're not James Bond, but then the Star Trek movies there, sealed, never open. Huge socket set. But all this stuff. Everything, not the jewelry that got stuck in from different unit, but more DVDs, more tools. And then if we come over here, all of this stuff. Big Coke mug set. Kind of strange the way they package that long ways like that. Star Trek mugs. There's a NASA John F. Kennedy collectible plate. We got the climbing spikes for like linemen doing tree work, wire cutters, extension cords, chains, AC tools. Tons of goodies, brass, vintage speakers, vintage Polaroid. So yeah, all that stuff that I just showed is the first batch, and we got tons more to go. So looking good so far. All right, we are in the next week's auction. We just filled up with mostly stuff out of this unit. There's still more stuff left. This is probably the last I'm going to show. We're getting kind of close to the end, but there still is quite a bit of stuff left from this unit that's going to end up in the next auction and stuff just to go out into the store. But I already showed that toolbox, and I'm sure some of this stuff I've already shown, but you know, sometimes it was just in a box and a really quick glimpse. But we did get some die-cast cars here. Here's some of the tools and die-cast cars. All of this stuff, got those cool Ford emblems. All of this came out of the unit. Everything that I'm showing here. Lots of Hot Wheels. Various tools. There's a electronic refrigerant scale. Pneumatic tools. Refrigerant. All the stuff. Here's all the coins and currency. All this stuff is ready to be listed. There's notes on it. But we're in the middle of setting all this stuff up for this week's auction, which is like 2 weeks after the initial purchase of this unit. So there's one of our mini creepers that we've already seen. All this stuff. I know it's a little bit dark right in here, but everything over here from top to bottom, from auto parts stuff, brake cleaner to DVDs, batteries for tools, vintage games, all this stuff, car stereos, tools. There's our Star Trek phone that we've already shown. Look at all those brass fittings. Soldering gun, nail gun. Let's come over this way, and there's a few things over here, and then we're going to get into. I do have some other stuff over here that's someone else's stuff they're consigning. We even put a bunch of pennies, just regular old pennies, to see what happens. 8 pounds, 6 ounces of pennies, realistic CB radios, and all that kind of thing. Let's move over here. All these goodies, more M&M stuff, G.I. Joe, DVDs, vintage clothing, which this isn't all the clothing. I saved some of it for the next one. Here's some Star Wars M&M stuff that I don't think we actually showed because I kind of opened the box. Lots of Wrangler jeans. There's our big, massive globe bug zapper, which does work. Plugged it in, it came right on. So that's a little bit of it there. And we're going to be wrapping this thing up here soon.